Hi everyone, my name's David Warbridge, Associate Director at Harrison Clarke. Today we're diving into an incredibly important topic, fire safety in buildings. As a Chartered Building Surveyor, I see firsthand how fire safety regulations impact homes and businesses, and I want to share that knowledge with you. We'll go through the history of fire safety in the UK, recent updates to regulation, and what homeowners and business owners need to do to stay compliant. Let's jump right in. Fire safety has been a huge concern in the UK for centuries, and unfortunately, many of the rules we have today were shaped by devastating fires. Let's take a look at some of the most significant ones and how they changed the building regulations. The first and most known one is the Great Fire of London in 1666. This massive fire tore through London, destroying thousands of buildings. In the aftermath, new laws were required for buildings to be made of brick and stone rather than timber, as well as the buildings being suitably spaced. The next major event was the Theatre Royal fire in 1887. A tragic fire in the packed theatre highlighted the need for clear evacuation routes and proper fire exits, leading to new safety standards for public buildings. In 1973, we had the Summerland fire. This disaster was at a leisure complex on the Isle of Man and exposed the dangers of using highly flammable building materials, pushing for stricter fire risk assessments. Most recently, we've had the disaster at Grenfell Tower in 2017, one of the most devastating modern fires. Grenfell led to sweeping reforms in fire safety, particularly around cladding materials, sprinkler systems and evacuation policies. These tragedies were the wake-up calls that forced improvements in the fire safety regulations, making our buildings much safer today. As a result of these past tragedies, fire safety laws are constantly evolving to prevent future disasters. Here are some of the more recent updates and why they were introduced. The Fire Safety Act in 2021. This law expanded the Fire Safety Order 2005, making sure that external walls, doors and shared spaces in apartment buildings were properly assessed for fire risk. The Building Safety Act of 2022 was a direct response to Grenfell. This act introduced a new building safety regulator, tougher fire safety standards and responsibilities for landlords and developers. The building is now classed as a higher risk building if it is at least 18 metres tall or has 7 or more stories with multiple residential units. These buildings must undergo stricter fire safety assessments and management. The banning of combustible cladding. Buildings over 18 metres or higher can no longer use combustible materials on their exteriors to prevent fire from spreading. New evacuation plans for higher-rise buildings. The introduction of the Personal Emergency Evacuation Plan, or PEEPS, ensures that vulnerable residents have clear escape strategies in the case of a fire. Stricter fire door inspections for high-risk buildings now require routine fire door inspections to ensure they function properly. These updates aim to make buildings safer, particularly high-rises and multiple occupancy residences. Fire safety isn't just for large apartment buildings and offices. Homeowners and business owners also have responsibilities. Let's break it down. For homeowners, if you own a home, you must install smoke alarms on every floor and carbon monoxide detectors in rooms with solid fuel burning appliances. These should be tested each month, and if they have batteries, these should be replaced every year. You should also plan to replace your detectors every 10 years as their internal sensors will degrade over time. If you live in a block of flats or an HMO, there are a few critical things to check. Are the smoke alarms working? Are the escape routes clear and well marked? And do the fire doors close properly? Are fire extinguishers and sprinklers where they're required? If any of these are missing or not maintained, let your landlord or property manager know immediately. They are legally responsible for ensuring these safety measures are in place. Electrical installations in rental homes must be tested by a qualified electrician at least every 5 years. Portable appliance testing, or PAT testing, is also recommended annually for household appliances. All inspections must be recorded to ensure compliance. Finally, if you store gas cylinders, fuels or other flammable substances, keep them in well ventilated and safe areas away from heat sources. Business owners also face strict rules and requirements and are duty bound to comply with. Here are some of the responsibilities they bear. The first is fire risk assessments. Under the Regulatory Reform Fire Safety Order 2005, businesses must regularly assess fire risks and put safety measures in place. This takes the form of a fire risk assessment, or FRA, which should be done annually. Providing training and raising awareness is also important. Employees need training on fire prevention, emergency evacuation and how to use fire extinguishers. Clear and well-lit escape routes are a must, and businesses should check on these regularly. The lights should be tested each month and the whole system should be given a full duration test each year. All of this has to be logged and recorded. Businesses have a requirement for the provision and maintenance of fire extinguishers. Businesses need the right type of extinguisher for their environment, like CO2 extinguishers for electrical fires and wet chemical extinguishers for kitchens. These must be serviced annually by a professional and checked monthly for visible damage and obstructions. Lastly, fire alarm systems should be tested weekly and the results logged in a fire safety book. Sprinklers need periodic inspections and a full service must be carried out yearly by a qualified technician. Keeping records of all of these tests is essential for compliance. Fire safety is a critical part of building design and maintenance. From historical fires that shape the modern laws and to the latest updates and regulation, it's vital for homeowners, tenants and business owners to stay informed and compliant. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insights, and if you ever need assistance or specific advice, our friendly team here at Harrison Clarke are always willing to help. You can contact us on 02381 550051 and we'll see you in the next video.